News Central Business Desk is represented at Intra-Africa Trade Fair by News Central Senior Business Correspondent Joanna Mustapha. Beg your pardon, she's been covering the event and she's bringing us a recap of what happened on Monday from the session on unlocking the power of digital trade for a borderless Africa. Hi Joanna, thank you for joining me today.
Yes, a pleasure to be here. As you have pointed out, it's day 6, the penultimate day, the final full day here at the trade fair. And I am at the panel at unlocking the power of digital trade for a borderless Africa. We all know the situation here in Africa where if you want to trade with another African country, you have to convert your money first to dollars, then back to the currency of the destination country. But obviously PAPS has provided a solution to that. On this panel, we have the CEO of PAPS, and he has, highlighted the measures being taken to give more access to the payment system. 18 countries across the continent have adopted PAPS, and he has said, and I'm quoting him on the panel today, that it takes an average of 7 seconds to conduct a transaction within Africa. And that is, of course, a milestone for intra-Africa trade, ease of doing business within the continent. He said a maximum of 110 seconds. There are still questions around the cost, even though that is believed to be much cheaper than it would with the international payment system, which is SWIFT. And there are also members from the audience asking questions, basically around security, and he has done his best to, grant some level of confidence in the use of the Pan-African payment settlement system.
But that's quite interesting. We cannot overemphasize the importance of this, especially when we look at interoperability and, the conversion and, of course, being able to convert these monies and all that. PAPS has done a great one from what you have said so far. But we're talking about 18 countries here. I mean, was there any conversation around when the other countries are going to get on board, why they haven't gotten on board yet, and what the impact has been so far?
Yes, so many countries have connected. I had the pleasure of meeting a woman who sells bags in Nigeria connect with a woman who makes leather in Ethiopia, and they were basically exchanging contacts, seeing how they could work together. And again, that emphasizes the importance of keeping the value chain within Africa, going beyond just exporting raw materials, but actually adding value here in Nigeria. We know in Nigeria there are various policies being brought forward to encourage value addition, keep the value chain within the continent, and stop exporting our wealth. Yesterday, one of the big highlights, of course, was a fireside chat where we had Chief Olusegun Obasanjo say quite a number of things, but he was asked, there was a question he was asked towards the end, what needs to be done to achieve the Africa we want. Remember, the Africa we want 2063 was what established the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement in 2018. And his answer basically, and I'm going to see if I can quote it, he said, Africa should not outsource her development to those outside of the continent. He called for an Africa developed by Africans and for Africans. And he also said that when we do have other countries outside of the continent who are looking to develop Africa for us, we should be asking the question, why? And of course, there were references to the likes of China. So yes, an emphasis on we developing our continent, ourselves. We know the story around the African Union, who built that for us, and some of the questions around there. But yes, the conversations continue. We'll continue to track it here at the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2025.
Thank you so much for sharing with us what's happening over there. I mean, talking about not outsourcing our development, that's something that's very important. Even though whenever we talk about development in Nigeria, or even any part of Africa, we always talk about, international donors, or we talk about, international support and all of this. But of course, we're told not to outsource this thing. So we'll get there someday. Thank you so much one more time for sharing all that with us. And we'll definitely keep in touch. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.